Yo, what's going on, man? You guys are now tuned back into the Free Sauce Podcast, and we got another very special guest to get today for you guys. But you already know, before we get into the episode, you already know, hit that subscribe button below. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, boost the numbers on this video, get the word out. Make sure you keep on tuning in with our Instagram page. If you haven't already, make sure you go follow the Free Sauce After Dark Show Instagram. We'll be starting episodes in February 2023. All unfiltered conversations, everything, talking about everything and anything. No requirements to be on the show. Just we're gonna put out like a little Google form, fill out the Google form, and you can be on the show. That's pretty much how that'll work. We got some merch on the way, but I think that's all from me. Without further ado, we're going to have our guest go ahead and introduce himself, man.
I'm Jaimon Barconia. I'm a 20-year-old junior at Illinois State University. I'm the president of my fraternity here. I'm an investor and entrepreneur, and I'm always looking for ways to learn.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to ask you before we even get going, like, when did you realize, like, entrepreneurship is for you?
I noticed this when I was young, probably like 10 years old. I remember out on the front porch selling my toys and stuff. I was in middle school selling candy, and it was always for me because I'm very motivated and I like to put time into my work. So it's something, entrepreneurship is something that doesn't limit you. You get what you put in, and that's what I like about it.
Like, you said something really interesting. Like, I realized, like, many people that had some type of hustle when they were, like, in elementary school, high school, they were, like, either selling candies, they were learning how to flip shoes, they were learning how to flip clothes.
Something.
Anything. And literally, I've realized, like, those kids are literally, like, the driving force. Like, they're willing to, like, literally go beyond limitations. They're willing to try any and everything just because, like, they realize at such a young age the importance and value of making your own money. I feel like that's a really big thing that, like, it's not stressed upon. Like, I've realized, like, most of the people I'm friends with used to literally sell donuts, sell candies in elementary and high school. They used to come to school and just be like, hey, yo, bro, I just got this. You want to buy this off me? And it's literally, like, I guess at such a young age, being able to sell something. I mean, how has that helped you? Like, being able to, like, sell yourself, sell anything to other people?
Well, see, most kids at 10, 12, 14 years old, they're playing video games, they're playing sports, but I was doing something that I was just advanced. I was studying real young. I was getting in the actual field of sales really young. So it definitely helped me develop because I look up now, I'm 20 years old, and I got 10 years of experience down my belt.
And experience is a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
10 years?
That's half your life. I mean, that's just a blessing, though, to be this young, to have that much experience already in something. Like we say all the time, experience is the best teacher. There's nothing more that could help you get to the next level than just keep doing it over and over again, failing at it, succeeding at it, experiencing the highs and lows, interacting with the different people. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. And then that experience gonna keep on building. So you at half your life right now, it's gonna come to a point where a quarter of your life you're gonna have experience in this specific thing, which is, I think that's gonna speak volumes to the earning power that you're gonna be able to have.
Yes,
it's gonna be unlimited.
Yes, and also the fact that, like you said, is the best teacher. You are willing to, test trial it. You don't, because when you're walking into it, you don't know how it's gonna end up. You don't know how it's gonna play out, but you're willing to, see how that road takes you. Has there been anybody around you that, from being able to learn sales and all this stuff from, has there been people around your corner that, like, keep pushing you to, keep doing what you're doing?
Yes, definitely my father. Ever since a young age, he never limited me. He let me be free, and he let me experience the world. He never, like, set boundaries on, just where I was supposed to go or where I could go. He just let me explore. He let me do what I wanted to do. He let me sell candy at school. I was 14 years old selling things on Let Go, Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. And he just let me expand and do my own thing. And he always encouraged me no matter what I did. So definitely my father's always been in my corner.
That's something really great to hear. Like having somebody in your corner that's willing to encourage you, no matter what. Because I feel like sometimes, like that's all we all need as a human being. You want somebody to be like, okay, look, you're doing this and that, but okay, let me help push you. You know, I feel sometimes like we all get to the point where it's like, okay, is he really in my corner or is he just, is he just there? So sometimes I feel like it's always like really clear-minded to know that you actually have somebody in your corner. And then also to touch on that too, like you said, Facebook Marketplace and all that. Like, is that like affiliated marketing? Like, what were you doing on there?
Okay, so I was just buying and reselling things from video games, clothing, shoes, just all that stuff. And I would just go on there and I was making almost $50 a day at like 14. Not profit, but sales, but still like that money coming in at such a young age prepared me for better things.
I'm finna see, just having that much money coming through your hands per day, it just allows you to be more fluent with money, be able to just, how to handle more money better because you've been handling money from a very young age. And it's like $50 to a 14-year-old per
heaven.
day, that's a lot.
That's heaven.
That's a lot.
That's heaven.
Whether it's sales, fucking profit, whatever the fuck it is, it's a lot to a 14-year-old at that age,
Because you could go to the grocery store, you could go to the candy shop, you could go anywhere and buy the whole store.
That's a lot.
All the snacks.
That's a lot.
You can buy the whole store. $50, you gonna walk out with a whole bag of nothing. Just bullshit.
Having $100, you thought, man, like that shit felt like you was a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're growing up, it's like the more you grow up, the less you value like the $100, the $10, the $20.
It's just you now understand that, damn, that's finna either go to a bill or you realize this not really shit because it's so many things that I need to do with this.
Right.
Not that I can do, but that really needs to be taken care of. You got more shit that's going on in life. And when you 14, where only thing you thinking about is
candy.
buying, right? You only thinking about buying some candy. You only thinking about trying to buy some shoes. So you talking about $50 a day, 3 days, you at $150, $200. You ready to buy them shoes that come out on Friday, Saturday.
That's a good way to break it down too. It's just the fact that like you have no type of worry as a 14-year-old. Like every money that you're getting, you see the one you're giving back to your parents. Make sure you can actually know what you're doing with it, or you just running off with it, or like just going to go do whatever you wanted to do.
Money has no obligations.
At 14, hell no, hell no. You shit. The only obligation you want is what type of flavor candy you want. That's damn near what it.
That's the hardest thing in life. At
that point, that's damn near it. So like learning that at such a young age, how would you say it has helped you now?
I built up the work ethic since I was that young. So now it's not hard for me to get up at 8 and say, okay, I have a 12-hour day. I'm going to get up. I got to do this. I got to do that. Definitely communication. Talking to people is really big because a lot of people don't know how to talk to people, and that's how you network. That's how you meet people. That's how you find these opportunities is through communication. So I was able to communicate with so many people in my community at that age, and I mean, it just built. I just got a lot of skills from that experience.
You touched on it. You said you had to like figure out like waking up early. So do you have any sense of routine, or do you just go with the flow?
It's different on some days. I would love to come on here and say I have a specific routine, but there are some days of the week where I do sleep in, and there's some days of the week where I do just chill in the morning or stuff like that. But mainly I like to get up, usually around 8. I like to work out. I like to read, a quick little workout. The gym's right next door. I'll read a little book, and then I'll start my day. And I like to be productive until like 5 or 6 p.m. So from 8 to 5 to 6, I'm straight productive. And then I might take a little break, and then I'll get some stuff done at night, or just hang out, meet people. But I'm very productive for the first part of the day.
Now, when you say you reading, how because people get like a misconception. They think like when people say, "Oh, read, do this, do that," they think that when you say read, you gotta read
a whole book.
You gotta read a whole book, 300 pages in 2 days. Like, no, when you reading, what do you really mean by that?
Okay, so by reading, it's just getting a book and picking it up and just reading for a few minutes.
It could be like one chapter, right?
Yeah, you could
even
read,
if that.
Yeah, you could read for 5 minutes a day and start off like that, and that's great progress because you'll build your way up to you're reading 30 minutes a day and you're enjoying it. So it's just basically just starting out. Start out little.
And for me, I want to go along that too. Like when I read personally, I read to be able to break down the concept of what I just read. So let's say I read something, right? I might not open that book again for the next like 2 to a week, just because I want to process what I actually just read. And if I'm able to process what I actually just read, that means that next time I either go back to that same chapter, I can pick up something different. It's like how I do with my shows. Like when I watch shows, I rewatch shows to see if I can pick up something different. So if I'm not able to pick up something different, I move on from that chapter. So then, or that book, so because I think I've gotten whatever I needed to get out of that book, out of it. Because I feel like some people just read books just to have like some type of accomplishment of reading insane amount of books. But do you really understand what the author was trying to let you get to? Do you understand the point the author was trying to get across? And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't understand when they think reading. It's cool to read all these books. I'm not gonna fault nobody for reading books, no. But for me personally, is that being able to understand the concept that are being put in the books.
Yeah, I want to speak on that too because that's very important. You can easily skim through a page and get it done in 30 seconds, but when I read, I'm like you. I like to break it down. I like to apply what you're reading to real life. Like sometimes it might take you 5-10 minutes to read one page, but if you're reading it and you're effectively applying the context to your life, then that means more than just skimming through it.
Yeah, you got to take some type of value out of the book. That's the whole point. Like, to this day, one of my favorite quotes is by Charlie Munger. He's a big friend of Warren Buffett, and the quote is pretty much make friends of the eminent dead. So pretty much, like for you to go through life, make friends of people that are already dead. As in, the authors, all the people because the experiences and the knowledge they have put in the book is something that you might maybe one day go through. Because pretty much every author and every character in the author's book is an individual. All of them have a story. You might know somebody that has a similar story to that individual in the book. That individual might be you. So if you're able to learn like the little skills of how the character is being portrayed in the book, you are better off than most people. Because you actually understand. But I wanted to get off that topic because we could go all day about books and all that stuff. But you said investor. You said you're an investor. What does that mean for you?
So investor is I take my money and I invest it into things, people, organizations, stocks. I invest my money and time into things that will produce, overall income in the future. So, like I invest in stocks. I've tried Forex before. It wasn't really for me. I invest in people definitely because I believe in people, and that's one thing that a lot of our generation really doesn't understand is you have to actually like believe in others because other people, we have a lot of potential, and a lot of people we're just stuck in our own ways where we can't reach out and think of others. So I definitely like investing in other people. I'm starting to get into real estate investing. That's going to be real big for me. That's my next big step. I'm studying for that right now.
And in what ways are you investing into people? Because it's not only money it's not only monetarily that you can invest in a person. What other ways are you investing in people?
It's time, resources, and actually making an effort to talk to them about how they can improve something that they're doing. People need it. People need advice, especially from the outside. And if you can be that friend that can be direct and real and say what's really going to help them instead of what they want to hear, then that's you investing what you have into them.
In a similar way, a good example would be for you. Like pretty much, look, he helps hold me accountable some days. Some days I don't want to go to the gym. Like I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Some days I don't want to go. But Ricky be like, okay, if I'm going to the gym, and even though I know I don't want to go, but it's just the initiative of him taking that step to even ask me makes me want to go, because it makes me feel like I'm not going alone. Because usually when I go to the gym, I go alone. But sometimes having that one person be like, okay, I'm going to the gym with these people. Do you want to come with? It changes the whole narrative of me going to the gym alone. In that way, in that sense, that's you investing in me without even knowing about it. But I feel like that's pretty much how you're trying to break it down too.
Yep. And then just finding ways to help others and what they're doing and their goals in life.
Because I feel like you said, it's needed. Like, sometimes you don't even know what's going on with an individual, for real. You don't even know what's going on. I might look, or somebody might look perfectly fine from the outside. That's just because, we are good at it. We are humans. We are good at hiding our emotions or showing emotions. So somebody might be completely fine, so you just neglect everything. But for you to just ask that one question, or for you to just even approach, hey, how is it going? How can I help? Changes the whole relationships. Because not everybody has a friend or anybody asking them 24/7, how are you doing?
Not even 24/7. Not even shit. People don't really got friends that they can rely on like once a month just to do a check-in. It'll take for a motherfucker to get in the hospital, somebody to die in their family, be like, are you cool? Just once a month, if that's the minimum, once a week, once every, just sometimes show some type of effort to the point where, okay, yeah, I actually do care about you as a friend, individual, or whatever you got going on. To like show that, yeah, I am invested in you in some type of way. I am putting my effort in you, time in you. And it's not always money where people look for like satisfaction or look for like how much do I mean to you? It's like, how much do you show up for me? How much effort do you put in for me? That's another way that you can show how much you mean to somebody.
He literally hit it on the head. How much can you show up for me? Like, it's pretty much like, how much can you show up for a person without them asking? And I feel like most of the time, somebody else gotta wait for somebody else to do it in order to do it. And that's just human nature most of the time, because you're like, why should I do this? Is he even thinking? Is he or she even thinking, if I do this, it's gonna help? You start to build up a whole narrative in your head, so you just don't even end up approaching the situation. By the time you're done, you already convinced yourself that it's not needed to be done, and that's crazy. That's fucking wild to me. But I wanted to touch on it too, though. Like, like investing, sometimes the market can, go down, it could go sideways, it could do whatever it want to do. How do you keep your emotions out of it?
I just invest, and when I invest in stocks, I invest in long time. So I'm not investing in stocks and checking it every single day, because I know I have an end goal. I know at the end of the day, the majority of these stocks, if I keep my money in here, it's going to rise in the next few years. So yeah, we have market crashes. Yeah, I lost some money. I don't even think about that, because even my L's, even the things that, I'm failing at, I'm learning from. And I'd rather learn now than learn later when I'm investing way more. So everything right now is just a learning experience.
It's a trial and error. I like that. And it's also the fact that, like, we have time on our side. We only 20, 21, 22. We still really young. Like, investing to us, we ain't been anywhere yet. I mean, we have experienced a couple, like, market crashes. We have experienced some ups and downs a little bit, but we haven't even been in there for too long to even see any type of profit yet. And most, like you were saying, like, the most return is a long-term view. Like, do you apply that type of view towards every aspect of your life? Or, like, because, sometimes you might want something now. Like, let's say you want the newest brand, the brand new shirt, the clothes, the shoes. You might want it now. So how do you train yourself to sometimes, hold off on things to, get it in the long run?
Okay, this is big. I do what I don't want to do now so I can do what I want to do later. So I'll hold off on all the shoes and all the jewelry and all the fun experiences, because I know one day I'm gonna be able to do all that. I'm gonna be able to afford all that. I just gotta make sacrifices now and stay locked in and just focus on my craft and not let those distractions fade me and just keep moving.
But in a sense too, though, I feel like, contrary to what you were saying, I feel like, wouldn't it be kind of like good to just have it now, just in case, I'm just saying from like another perspective. Wouldn't it be good to have it now, just so you can see if you can live without it?
Yeah. And it's always good to reward yourself too.
Right. I was about to say.
And yeah, so I mean, I'd be lying if I say I didn't buy, a pair of Jordans or something
Right.
like that. I have. I just kind of limit it. I might buy like one pair a year and like that. But I mean, you do need some of that stuff, because if you go buy you a pair of Jordans, that could motivate you as well.
Yeah.
It's just about the money you spend on the unnecessary.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, okay, but yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm not. You say I'm not doing this for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, but when do I reward myself? When is the payout? Like, to what extent am I saying no to all these things? But he answered it there. But yeah,
Because I'm just.
that's what people struggle with, is like basically the moderation part. They say everything is good in moderation, but people don't know what is moderation. Is it once a week? Is it once a month? Is it twice a month? Like, niggas moderation is different. It's all based on your perspective, I think.
Yeah.
But like he said, when it comes to buying big, like, luxury clothing items, that's not really a necessity. Just as long as you got clothes, is a necessity, but not necessarily the luxury of them. But like you say, once a year, I think that's cool. Just so you do have a good pair of shoes and shit like that, so you're not always running around with just generic shit. You do have a good pair of shoes, because that is something that you need. But like he said, it's the moderation. Do everything in moderation. I think that's the big part. It's just figuring out what is moderation.
And you saying moderation made me think about a question that somebody asked me yesterday. It was like, how would you define hard work? And my answer was pretty much like, I feel like it depends on the person. It depends on the individual. What is hard work to me might not necessarily be what is hard work to you. As in, like, let's say we all, I define it as in pretty much, if I could constantly work on something not even necessarily every day, if I constantly work on something to progressively see improvements, that's what's hard work to me. I don't gotta be sweating 24/7 to be like it's hard work. So for us, I know that I put in a little bit more time, and every single time I put in time, I see a little bit more improvements. That's hard work. And I feel like my definition would differ from your definition. I say it would differ from your definition, because we might not all see it the same way. Like you were saying, moderation is like we all might not see how to balance things the same way. So for us, like, you figure out what works best for you. Nobody else can tell you, oh, what you're doing is wrong. Because at the end of the day, you make sure that you know what moderation means for yourself, and nobody else should have that kind of input.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like, just touching on what you said real quick, is I think the biggest thing with, like, moderation and hard work is, I think the definition of the word, we would all have like a similar, like, understanding or similar, like, meaning of it, but it's the duration or it's the extremity of it is where the conversation is. Because we all understand that moderation is like to do something, periodically, not
bit by bit.
bit by bit, not every day or not excessively, but it's the extremity. Where or how long is moderation? 1 week, once a week, once a month, once a year, once every 6 months. And same thing with hard work. We all understand that hard work is like going above and beyond for an extended period of time, but it's how above and beyond for how long. It's just the extremity of it.
And going along that same thing, it's pretty much like how people say, if you get 1% better every single day, it's better than not getting any percent better. And I feel like that's just like, you don't gotta take anything that we're saying to the extreme. By all means, that's not what we're saying. But pretty much just be able to see improvements bit by bit. You're doing far way more than the majority of people.
Just focus on doing better than yesterday.
And also, one thing I wanted to touch on too was the fact that, like, how do you all, like, how like a lot of people have like they see others as competitors. They see other people as like, like, okay, I think it's me versus them. Or I think it's me versus him. Or I think it's me versus her. Or I think it's that. So like, how do you all like try to make sure you don't get stuck in that type of thinking? Because sometimes you might be applying to the same job with somebody, and you're gonna see it as it's me versus them, or it's me versus this person. So how do you all try to make sure like you don't cloud your judgments and stuff, and try to stay as clear minded as possible?
I try my best not to compare myself to others and not to be in competition with others. And I try to be in competition with myself. As long as I'm improving myself day by day and I have confidence in myself and I keep on doing things, then I know I'll be able to make it someday. So, yeah, I try not to get in competition with other people, but, I mean, there are instances in which we do.
It do happen.
Yeah, we do. So I'd say the best thing for that is just trying to stay focused on your goal.
Yeah, I would say just trying to stay out of the competition mindset as much as possible, even though it's kind of reality we are kind of in competition. But I think it's important not to see everybody as an enemy.
Yes,
that's the most important thing, because I think that people take the competition shit to an extreme. Yeah, we all might be competing after some of the same things a lot of the time, but not everybody is our enemy. A lot of times we can get to where we're trying to get to faster if we latch on to somebody, or if we take a partner with us.
You want to say your favorite quote?
Yeah, like I always say, man, you go faster, you go farther together, you go faster alone. So if you're trying to go very fast, somewhere very quick, boom, you go alone. But if you're trying to build something that's sustainable and that's very, very, very extraordinary, it's going to take some time, and you got to get a partner. Go far together, fast alone. That's how I think of it.
Like, you all pretty answered the question really, really well. Just because it's just the fact that it's human nature, you're going to see what the other person is doing. You can't turn a blind eye to it. You're going to see what somebody else is doing. You might want to compare. But at the same time, though, you don't know the amount of sacrifices or what that person had to put through to go get whatever that you desire or that you want. So all you got to do is pretty much, like he said, get better every day, and whatever you want to come true is going to come true for you. If it's supposed to come true for you.
Yeah, that's facts.
You can't force it.
Something I wanted to touch on was credit, man. It's something that's very important in today's day and age. It's something that becoming of age, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, where we starting to get our first credit cards, learn about credit, learn about what not to do, what to do, how it affects us, and things like that, trying to get apartments, cars, and things. So we can just go down that route a little bit. We can start kind of just, I guess, kind of general credit shit. So in terms of what's some good credit cards, and how to use them when you first just generally use them starting off.
Okay, so some good credit cards, American Express, Wells Fargo, stuff like that. But basically, any credit card is a good credit card if it doesn't have a yearly fee. And I try to go for those because the ones without a yearly fee, you can hold and you won't get taxed anything extra unless if you're not making your interest payments. And how I would go along with that is when you get your first credit card, just use it for little things like gas. So, hey, I put gas on this credit card, and when you use it, pay it off immediately. Maybe a few days later, but pay it off before the end of the month so you don't acquire interest. I've paid every single payment off before the end of the month so I don't get charged anything extra, and I've been able to build up my credit. And right now, I have access to $18,000 in credit cards.
That's personal credit.
Yeah, that's a lot for anybody that's your age. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
It's just about building it up because it's going to take a while. It's going to take a few years to obviously get to 700-800 wherever you want to get, but it's just about slowly just building your way up, getting more credit cards, handling it responsibility, and then when you get to the point where you have an amount, then you can use that for investments, and you can get rich off of using other people's money. You don't need your own money to make money.
And talk about like just as much as you can the process of like getting that 18,000 in credit is not all just on one account or it's not just not at one time. So kind of like if you had any credit limit increases or just acquiring new cars and things like that.
Yeah, so I started off with a credit card from Credit One. It was $300, and then I got another one. It was like $1,000. I got another one. It was like $1,000, and then over time, all those credit cards that were $1,000, they've grew to $3,000 to $5,000, and then the one that was $300, it grows. So they all grow over time. They'll give you more credit over time. And you can even go in the apps and ask them. And there's like a little thing like you can apply for a credit increase, and they'll do it. They want to give you the money. They want to.
And I wanted to say it was pretty much like, it's pretty much like he said, slowly build the habits of using your, like, actually being responsible with your credit cards. As in, let's say you have a $100 limit on your credit card. Would it be smart to use all $100 every time? Probably not. Mm-hmm. Probably not, because you got to make sure you know how whatever you're utilizing that you can pay off right away. So like he said, smart to put gas on there, $100. Let's say you pay for gas each time. Let's say you pay $20 each time. You know, no matter what, you had that $20 for gas. You know, no matter what, you had it. So right when you pay with your credit card, go back into the account and then pay it off with the money that you had in your savings, your check-ins, whatever. Just pay it off right away because you know you had that money for it. But it wouldn't be smart to just constantly use that credit card to go buy the new Jordans, the new clothes that you don't possibly might not have the money for it right now, but that's the trend. That's how you get stuck because you want to follow the trend. So just pretty much be able to constantly, like they say, the credit rule is 10 to 30% utilization. So just use anywhere between that and constantly pay it off and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on that because you do want to keep your credit card utilization very low. Keep it at like 10%, and because they look at that, they look at, okay, how much do they need my money? If they don't need it, then I'll just give them an increase. And then also with a big misconception is people think, oh, I have a credit card, I can buy these $200 Jordans and pay $20 a month for 2 years or something like that. That's how you get stuck in credit. That's a trap.
It's a trap.
That's a trap. Only use your credit card for something that you can pay off by the end of the month. And I honestly don't use my credit card on anything that I know I can't pay at that moment. Right. But I do try to put everything on my credit cards because you get 1 to 5% cash back depending on what cards you have. So at the end of the year, you might look up and you might have $100 to $500 in rewards.
Right. And another rule of thumb too. Let's say you in college, you got an apartment, right? And let's say every month you're gonna make that payment. Let's say you have a credit card, and let's say your credit line, let's say it's $1,500, but you pay $500 every month. Even though that's a really high utilization, which is like probably 35%. Even though that's really high, consistently you're gonna pay it off. So put that towards your credit card, and then every month you're gonna pay. Every month rent is being paid. So now, even if you're not spending your credit card anywhere else, rent is being paid. You got a telephone bill. Let's say you want to pay your telephone bill on there. Every month you're going to use your cell phone to call somebody that's important to you. You like, it's those little things that I'm gonna call them fixed cost. Every month they're gonna be paid. So if every month they're gonna be paid, and you can always earn the money to pay it, just put on a credit card just so every month you don't got to worry about it. You just pay it, and then you go into the account, pay it off.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just building credit history. That's all they're talking about doing is just building some type of credit history, some type of credit utilization. So when you do apply for those to get a credit limit increase, they do give it to you because why would they increase you if you're using $10 a month?
Right.
You don't need it. So it's important to still use it, but like they're saying, make sure you're using it on things that you're going to be paying at the end of the month. Like rent, phone bill, necessities, groceries, gas and shit like that. That's the biggest thing. We're not saying like don't use the credit card. We just saying once it come time for your monthly bill, make sure you paying it off. If not in full, mostly in full, leaving 5-10%, shit like that.
Be responsible.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
That's just the biggest thing when it comes to credit.
Because you gonna need it if you want an apartment. You gonna need it if you want a car. Otherwise, they're gonna 9 times out of 10 screw you over.
Yeah, we at the age where we trying to get apartments, trying to get cars, trying to get our life in order, and the last thing we want is our credit to hinder us this young in our fucking lives.
Right. And also one thing too is just pretty much like you were saying, be able to use other people's money to help you generate whatever you want to do with your life. So pretty much like him being able to get money from the credit cards and stuff like that, not necessarily don't make life easier or anything, but it helps with credit, and then the credit helps make your life easier. Because if a bank knows you are a good customer, you are constantly gonna make payments on time, they are more likely to trust you with more money. And what does everybody want in this life? Everybody want more money to use, whatever to help other people, to do whatever you want to do. Now you don't gotta worry about it because you have built a foundation. And that's what we're doing right now. Like with the credit card utilization and all that, we just building the foundation to get access to a lot of money to be able to use later on.
I like that you said that. We're just building the foundation to be able to have access to this money to do in life, because there's so much money that they're willing to give out. Loans. If you've been building up your credit for 5 years, you can go in and get a loan for your business. Just have a business plan. So you really don't need money. You just need to learn credit and learn how to show people your ideas and inspire them and communicate.
That's great. That's a great way to put it. Because people are willing to invest in great ideas. Mm-hmm. A lot of great ideas.
Yeah, because I think that's something that we can look at as far as like when it comes to opening a business and doing shit like that, is a lot of times we're so stressed and we're so scared about how we run our business, the direction of our business, because we're using our own hard-earned money. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, I think if we understood how to use other people's money, if we understood how to use credit, how to leverage credit, we'll be able to do more things with our businesses, expand, reinvest into our businesses more and things like that, instead of trying to put up cold hard cash all the time.
Because it's hard. Yeah. People don't realize, like, trying to always have cold cash to try to do a business is so much harder than people expect.
Especially when you're trying to scale, when you're trying to go up, you know.
Because then you start asking yourself all types of questions. Am I doing the right thing? Is the government going to come to me? Is Uncle Sam want his cut? You start asking yourself all these questions. Meanwhile, if he had, like he said, credit leverage, where you also, you know, having people in your corner, the banks in your corner to help you direct it, to help make sure you have the best resources to help direct. Because one thing I realized, if the bank has their money in anything, they're not willing to fuck up. Mm-hmm. If you get the bank on your side in anything, they are not willing to fuck up. Because if they fuck you up, they're going damn near lose a lot more shit. Because now what you going to do? We live in a society. What you going to do? You're going to want to sue them. and it's crazy. So just being able to realize, like, I feel like that's one thing too. People's got to start actually realizing the importance of banking in our society. I feel like a lot of people don't realize it for real, like how important it is that the society we live in, for anywhere you go, it comes back to the same circle. Anywhere you go, it always comes back to the same circle. The importance of banks in our system. And I feel like once people start to realize that relationship, you can start using them as not necessarily friends, but acquaintances. Because everybody's gonna do whatever they want to do in their best interest, even banks.
Yeah, I think it's just like you said, first realizing and then realizing how to use them, right. When to use them and shit like that. Because banks they can be helpful, but they also there to make money. You know? Banks are in a business to make money.
That's how they always get people with terrible credit scores and shit, just because they know no matter what, they're going to have them in their back pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, banks own damn near everything.
Damn near.
That's just the bottom line with it. But if you know the rules with it, if you know how to use them, they are there to help you as well.
Yeah. Like, what is this? What is it saying? The friend of your enemy is your friend. So if you think banks are your enemy, they're definitely your friends. And then also I wanted to touch on real estate. Like, when did you realize, like, you know, cause I like many people come on this podcast and talk about like wanting to get into real estate and stuff like that, and so I'm just trying to ask you like, what has your journey been with real estate?
Okay, so when I was really young, probably like 12, I started watching YouTube videos on wholesaling, rental properties, buying and flipping houses. I started watching and studying all that. And that's when I knew, like, this is what I want to do. I like real estate. I like communication. And I like traveling. Because real estate's something that you can do all around. And it was just something that I knew was for me. It's something that I have a lot of confidence in. I've prepared myself for. And it's basically real estate is kind of like running your own business. It's you choose your profits. What you put in is what you get out.
That's big, because I just know like many people want to, you know, get into real estate because they feel like it might be the easiest route to richness.
Nope.
Right? But I just feel like sometimes like you're gonna need people to break it down to you like this road is not easy. Like it's just not for the weak. And also the people that you're renting to, you got to be able to, you know, somewhat believe and trust in. Because at the end of the day, if your tenants are not bringing you back what you asked for, you have now you have a whole new problem that you didn't even imagine. So I just feel like sometimes a lot of people have the misconception of like real estate being easy, or just because they hear so many people talk about it, they think it's easy.
Mm-hmm. And they do market that online a lot. You see a lot of people marketing real estate, marketing their courses, but at the end of the day, it's a lot more difficult than just, oh, I'm going to wholesale, because you have to be able to cold call people. You have to be able to go door to door. You have to be able to contact businesses and speak to people and make contracts and go to the courtroom. Like, there's so many things that you have to do. And it's definitely a lot harder than you think, but just try it. And if it's for you, it's for you.
It's worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely worthwhile.
That's a great way to put it. And then I also wanted to touch on you being a president of a frat. What does that mean to you?
Being the president of a fraternity is a big responsibility. I'm honored to have it. You're that guy that everyone looks up to and says, I trust his vision. I trust where he's going to take us. I trust his morals. So everyone was able to entrust me into this position, and now I'm able to lead, and I'm able to distribute resources and people and lead and just tell people, hey, you guys got to do this. I'm the one that's holding people accountable. I'm the one that people look to when they need advice. I'm the one that people see as the forefront, the face of the fraternity. So I have to hold myself, and I have to be the role model for everybody.
What has been the toughest aspect of that?
Involvement, getting everyone to put 100% effort into what they do, whether that be a chair position or just another member in the fraternity, but making sure that everyone has that vision and is willing to put in the work to succeed.
So basically a big part of your role is basically getting people to believe. A lot of the time, get people to believe in you, the vision, what you stand for, and the direction of you that you want to take the frat in.
Yeah, definitely being able to inspire people and show people that we can do the things that you guys thought we never could have done. We can do crazy things, like things that you can't even think of, just because if you can take 50, 70 guys and put them all on the road to success, and everyone's willing to put in work and do their part, there's nothing we can't accomplish. We can do things that you thought we couldn't do.
That's absolutely true.
It's like, I don't know. What is the sports in the water? Is it rowing?
Water polo?
No, is it rowing where everybody got to put in effort to make sure that
like
go
on
forward?
The kayak, or
I don't know what it's in my head. But
I know what you're saying. Like two people holding that one stick and
no, I think it's a team sport. It's rowing where like everybody got to do their part to make sure we go far in the water. I think it is.
Kayak, that's what I'm thinking of.
Whatever it is.
But I know what you're talking about, though.
I'm just making sure, like, it's pretty much like being able to rely on the next person next to you or behind you to constantly keep the wheel going, keep it pushing. Because I feel like sometimes people might lack motivation, like you were saying, like involvement. People might lack motivation, like they might lack belief. It's just for me anymore. Do I want to do this? So you gotta constantly be in the background, like, hold on, you've been doing this whole time. If you don't think this is for you, you could get out now and still save yourself, or you could ride with us to the very end.
And you have to, because you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yep, 100%, every single time.
That is 100% true, man. But I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. As always, you dropped a lot of gems for us, man. Really gave a lot of insight for a lot of things, man. A lot of things. But if you want to get the people somewhere to get in contact with you, if they want to have any questions about anything, just want to shoot the breeze with you, anything like that, where they can get in contact with you.
You guys can get in contact with me on Instagram at JA1MON. And I would like to thank you guys for having me on the podcast. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak and be heard.
Anytime, man. Hey, before we go, Free Sauce, please never stop learning.
Never stop learning, man. It's Free Sauce Podcast. We out.
We out.